watching us. My brothers were on the swing. I'm over here. He calls me over to him. And I remember vividly, I remember the dress I wore. I remember exactly what I talked to my mom about this today. And I said, Mom, whatever happened to that guy? Because once it happened, I was frozen. I'm 12 years old. I don't know about sex and men touching me and all this other stuff. I'm frozen and I don't know what to do. And I'm sitting here like, okay, am I the person? Did I make him do that to me? No. Let me finish.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. My brother, who is 6 years old, is watching this. I didn't know that. He runs over after the guy leaves. The guy's filling me up under my dress and everything. My brother comes over. He says, "Are you going to tell mommy what happened?" I'm not telling her because this is her friend's friend, And I'm all these thoughts are going through my mind as to why I can't tell my mother what just happened. My brother says, "I'm telling." He was a big old tattletale, so he went and told, and I never saw those guys again. So when we started talking about this, that's what I was telling Cedric. I had to take my mind back there because as a 12, 13, 14 years, I was pure and innocent. I didn't know about sex and I didn't know about all this stuff. This man was 27 years old with these babies.
But see, that's what I'm saying
So
here
you
as well.
can't blame the
But
victim because
I'm not blaming the victim. I'm just looking at how they're being taught. Because
right,
you got some of these
fast,
teenagers
it don't matter.
no. You got some of these teenagers that has been taught. You and
Twerking and all that stuff.
I'm not condoning what R. Kelly have done in his organization. Because I know me. My both my daughters know I got a shotgun for each one of them for any guy that do anything wrong to them. But at the same time, I'm looking at this how some of these parents, especially single moms, if they're going through hardship, they're teaching their young daughters how to get out there.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the
Yeah.
thing.
Also,
But to me,
Here's-
it
here's the-
doesn't matter.
I'm
A
go for-
grown
I'm
man
go-
should be in control.
It
Yeah, I'm gonna go further than that. I'm gonna go further than that. Okay, we're first of all, a grown man shouldn't be touching a teenager. Period.
Right.
Period.
So I don't care if she twerking
I
on
don't
him.
care
And
if she
everything.
dressed
I don't
like a
care what-
hoochie mama. I don't care.
That should not happen.
Right.
Right.
That's one. Let's go further. It's something that we need that you're not touching on because he dealt with a 35-year-old. He dealt with a 33-year-old. A predator knows how to get in your mind.
I understand that.
And once they get in your mind and make you feel a certain kind of way, I mean, why do you think spousal abuse happens on a consistent basis?
Why do
It
those
happens-
victims stay?
It happens because these men get into a woman's mind and they belittle them.
You're worthless.
Then they-
You
and-
ain't
and
gonna
they
be
build 'em
nothing
up.
without me.
Yeah, and then they that right there is wrong.
Yeah.
It is. I agree.
And there's no right around it. And then the person who is being victim, she's not the victim. She's I mean, just because
She
she's
is the
older.
victim.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she's the victim.
She's
but
the victim.
just because she's old enough, and I read where somebody said, well, when you're old enough, you learn. No,
Okay,
no.
you can be 60 years
No,
old.
I don't care how old you are.
Somebody
because-
touch you
because
inappropriately.
a woman's
You don't want them to.
a woman's mindset. If you understand a woman's mindset, okay, you have to understand that, and it says this in the Bible. What does it say? It says golly, it says something about a woman being the weaker vessel. It talks about that in the Bible
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
woman being the weaker vessel.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah.
That means that a man, because he's been created this way, has that mindset to get in there and get over and get whatever he wants. And if he utilizes that to a bad to the wrong level, guess what? He's gonna be the one that's beating her. He's gonna be one that's quote unquote raping her. He's gonna be one that's mind controlling her. He's gonna be the one that's putting everything over her because he's utilizing what God has given her to get over on her. That is wrong in so many levels. And then you got these women, these women and who's saying, I was held in this room. I couldn't get out until he told me to get out. There was one point, this one lady said, I sat there for about hours to see if I can come downstairs.
Yep, he wouldn't feed her.
Wouldn't feed me. He would punish her.
Slapped her in the face.
Yeah. This is what goes on in that house. That's wrong in so many
Well,
levels.
And I think what I'm looking at, and I agree with you. All of that is wrong, but you do have this small percentage that basically that's what they want. That's not
No,
you
I
got
disagree.
no
I
no no.
disagree. I disagree.
Let me finish.
You know what
Let
they
me
want?
finish. Let
They
me
want
finish.
a they want a man that's going to treat them like a woman.
Let me
And what
finish.
happens
Let
is
me
he
finish.
starts out treating you like a woman,
Okay.
and he degrades you
Okay.
after that.
Okay.
Mhm.
What's the young lady that's getting ready to get released from prison?
Uh,
She
ch-
got
uh,
sent.
s-
She
I
got
know who you're talking about.
yeah. She got
The
sentenced.
sexual slave.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did she end up in that situation?
because a man approached
No. No.
her.
No. No. No.
No, no,
No.
I'm
No.
asking.
Go back
I'm,
to the
I'm asking you a
beginning.
question.
How did?
A man approached her and made her feel like a woman. She
No.
got in the car with her.
No.
She got in the car
No.
with him, and then
No.
next thing you know, she went home with him,
No.
and now he
No.
made her
No.
a sex
No.
slave.
You didn't go to the beginning.
What's the beginning?
The beginning is what we call streetwalker. She was a prostitute.
No, she was not
That
at
still
15.
does
Yeah,
not
No, no, no,
justify
no, no, not at 15.
you're not.
Centonia
Yes,
Brown.
she was.
Yeah.
That's her name.
Centoya.
Yes, she
Centoya
was.
Latoya
Brown.
Brown.
She was a prostitute.
Yes,
And why was she a
yes.
prostitute? Because she
Okay.
was looking for that one man.
And
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm
I'm
telling you.
trying to tell
9
you,
times out of 10, these women look for that woman, that
she,
man that's going to be that man for them.
she ended up being a prostitute.
She probably had a bad home, a broken home
However, she was put out there. She was made to do
at
it.
15.
Yeah, and to me, right there, it goes back. If that was a parent that put her out there,
Eh,
it started with that
That
parent.
right there, I agree with that. I agree
It
with that.
started with that parent.
I agree with that. That's the only thing I agree with. But what I'm saying
But you
is right here.
can't blame
What I'm saying for
her.
here.
I didn't
When,
say blame her.
no. What I'm saying is for here. When he picks her up, it is not his right to take her home and make her a sex slave.
No, it's
He
not.
can't say, "Oh, the parent did this, so I'm gonna do this to you." That's not his right.
I
And as a
didn't say it.
man, and this is where men fail. This is where men fail society. Because we feel like, well, you're doing it, your booty is out, so I can do what I want to do. This is where men fail society when they don't sit back and take care of their own home and then make it okay for an R. Kelly pedophile, whatever he is, to do what he want to do and still buy his music.
But at the same
That's
time,
why we fail
okay,
society.
and you know what? As society, I'm not part of that society. Because number one, I don't buy his music. I
Even
don't support
God's
him.
society, we fail.
I know, no.
You're part of that society.
No, I'm
God's
not.
society.
I'm part
Say
of
that
the society that I taught my daughters and still teaching my daughters. Because as a parent, you never
You stop teaching.
Your children never get to the age where you stop teaching
That's
them.
right. That's right.
What's up, Trey? Yeah, I know. I'm saying what's up, Trey.
Yeah,
Yeah. As
so-
parents, but what I'm
so-
saying is right here. What I'm saying is right here. If you want to know who the real fault is, the real fault is men that do not stand up and be men. I don't care if it's R. Kelly. It could have been her father, but he was trying to be a man.
Right.
But you cannot blame the victim. You cannot blame these women that were put in this position to be manipulated by this pedophile, by this creep,
Predator.
by this predator,
Predator. Yeah.
by this whatever.
And I agree with
You cannot. You can't. And you
but at
do
the
not let
same-
him off the hook. That's
No.
why today the Georgia county clerk opened up an investigation.
They
Right
needed
after
to.
him.
Yeah.
That's
After all this
Yeah.
right here, they opened up
needed-
an
they-
investigation.
they-
And you know why
they-
he
But
got
why
it?
did it take this
I'm gonna tell you.
long
I'm gonna
to
tell
do
you
it?
why. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why
24
Because of-
years.
The first
because
trial-
of the backlash.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that-
let me put it like
the
this.
first
Now,
trial though.
you really want to go way back to the beginning when
What, 12 Pelly?
this professionalism of women started.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and it wasn't us.
Let's go back to John F. Kennedy.
No. They ain't back far enough. Because this is the oldest profession.
Oh, slavery.
So when you go back there, you gotta look at what branched off from that.
Hold up. AD, I'm sorry. Stop living in 1800s saying
I'm
this is
saying-
where it is.
No,
No, we
I'm-
don't. Wait. If we can grow up
if you're
from
gonna have an
if we-
end, then you gotta look at the
no.
beginning.
If we can grow up from
No,
if you're saying
you said John F. Kennedy.
no,
I said go back.
no, I'm
further than
saying
that.
don't even go back there. I'm
Yeah.
saying this right here. If we can grow up, then we need to be able to shut up and do right. You can't say in 1800s I was put in a slave, so my
No.
1800 slave grandfather
We
put us in slave, so that's why I'm like I am.
Okay.
It's-
Okay.
I understand it's called a generational curse,
No,
but one day
no, it's not.
No.
I know
no,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
a
So
scapegoat.
so don't go back to the 1800s and say this is what they did to us.
You're not understanding the point that I'm making. In order to have an ending, you gotta first start at the beginning.
We already
Mhm.
know the
Because-
beginning.
No, not necessarily.
Who don't know
Okay,
the
so the
beginning?
next category is friends and associates of the victims, the parents, R. Kelly. Can they be held accountable if they knew what was going on?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
There's no
Okay.
question about that.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And especially if they participated in what was going on or
Uh-huh.
helped. Here's what I found out today. So we all know that R. Kelly was molested when he was a child. Okay, that was put out there. Come to find out, his sister the one who molested him when he was a child. So his brother comes on and talks about how his brother actually was molested too. His younger brother was molested. His younger brother went to R. Kelly and said that, and R. Kelly said, "No, you wouldn't." So his brother felt he couldn't go and tell his story
because his own brother doesn't
because
believe him.
exactly if his own brother don't believe
His
him. Then,
parents are.
but now, why does his own brother don't believe him? Because
He
at
went
the
through the
age
same
he
thing.
went through the same thing, but he liked it and his brother didn't like it. So there was a point to where he talked about how they had to go outside and play, but R. Kelly didn't want to go outside and play because his sister was inside. So they talked about how him and his sister stayed inside all the time, but they was going outside and play. So if you want to, we talk about the end and the beginning, right? The beginning for R. Kelly was at that point when his sister was
His
molesting
whole
him.
family.
Exactly. So his mindset was already there. His sexual experience has already been exploited then.
He says that he was getting exposed to stuff he shouldn't get
I was getting
exposed
ready
to.
to
at
say
Yeah.
that
people
age.
Right.
people that molest the minors most likely were the ones that got
Got
molested.
molested.
Right.
Right.
Now-
right.
now
and
what-
it doesn't excuse him.
It
No,
doesn't
it don't.
excuse him. But no. I'm bringing this to another point. What makes us think he wasn't doing the same thing?
Huh?
If he was getting molested when he was a minor,
Oh, gotcha.
what makes us think he wasn't doing the same thing?
To his brother.
No,
to these young ladies?
to these young ladies who's
Because
coming
people
out
are saying they don't believe
right.
them.
If he was getting it done at 6 and 5, what makes us think he wasn't doing it when they was 14 and 15?
I think the reason people throw out that they don't believe the ladies is because similar to the
Bill
Cosby,
Bill
thing,
Cosby,
yeah.
you're just waiting so long
Right.
to come out with it. I mean,
But
the man, how old's Kelly now? Almost.
He's
He's
52.
52.
But here's the deal: they didn't wait so long. They was throwing out lawsuits, but these lawsuits were getting thrown out.
Yeah.
The reason why lawsuits
Because the
getting
victim in the one
The
where he
original
was
victim,
urinating wouldn't
didn't wanna come
wouldn't
out.
come forward.
that's why I was getting thrown out. That's one. And two is this right here. This is what I'm sorry. This is what black folks do. Because it's R. Kelly. He made great music. He did all this right here. Oh my God, no, you can't just
Black folks.
you can't. Yeah,
I was
you-
gonna say
you
it ain't
can't-
just black folks.
It's not. It's not because what if
I can't go back?
no. No.
Elvis Presley.
No, listen what I'm saying. No, listen what I'm
They
saying. Listen,
protected
hold
him.
on, wait, listen to my point though. Listen to my point. Because it's R. Kelly and he's made all this great music, we don't want to do. I've seen this before. Why would you want to destroy this man's legacy? This that, and that. I've seen that before. I'm like, what if it was a white man? If it was a white man, y'all be saying hang him. Because you say that would every other white man come out? Kevin Spacey, all these other. I mean, you say
What you
hang
say?
him.
What if it's Justin Timberlake?
What if it was Justin Timberlake? Would you? Oh, he did it. Oh, yeah, I know he did it. You know why you're not saying that? Because number one, we don't want to tear our people down. Hell, they tear themselves down. They put themselves in that position. So
Right.
because they put themselves in that position, I'm gonna do the same thing I do with them with what I do with a white boy. Tear them down. Because that's not right.
Wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong, and I don't care what
They
color
don't
you
have
are.
No skin color.
Wrong is wrong. Ain't no buts to it.
You know, the disappointing part about all this is not only the friends and the associates, because that's to me, that's one of the top on my list. Because to me, if you're associated with a man that's sexually abusing women and you're condoning it by going to find the women for him,
Exactly.
I don't understand how you can consider yourself any better. And now I'm watching the little documentary, and here are some of the people
And they all
20, 30
coming
years
out. Yeah.
later want
Right.
to say, I'm sorry I was a part of it. No,
I
no.
knew something was wrong.
I don't think you're sorry you're part of it. I think you're afraid of what might be about to go down. And so
Yeah,
now you're
buddy.
trying to put this out here and say, yeah, I was a part of this. Yeah, I did this. I can't believe I did that.
I'm turning state's
You know,
evidence
one
or
of his
something like that.
managers even called the parents whose daughter is still being held captive, called the father and threatened him about the docuseries. He didn't realize that the father was standing there with the police and put him on speaker. This is R. Kelly's man. I think it was his manager,
Yeah.
business manager,
Imagine, yeah.
threatening him, and the police were listening. That's another reason why they're opening up their investigation, because people weren't believing these people.
Yeah.
So now he's got text messages with threats and phone calls.
something. I don't know what it was. One of R. Kelly's children was taken away from her mother, and she found out where her daughter was. That R. Kelly was away from the hotel.
Oh yeah,
She went there to
and
get
got her baby.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
got
We
her
saw.
baby.
That's
Sure
the
did.
one that made me cry
Yeah,
Yes,
went to
they-
go get
because
her
she
child.
talked
Yeah.
with her daughter that morning. Her daughter was like, she's like, well, who's in the room with you? And she was standing at the door looking at her daughter,
Mhm.
and the daughter was just looking at her like she didn't even know who she was. And she's like, okay, well, come back later.
Come
Then
at
she
6
called
o'clock.
down, told her to come back at 6 o'clock. When she got back there at 6 o'clock, they had called the police on her.
Saying that's not her daughter.
And so she left, and she's like, I'm going back to get my baby.
Mhm.
And she went back and got her child and brought her up out of there. R. Kelly's people called the police on the mother for trying to come and get her daughter.
My thing is this right here.
That's craziness.
But
How do you not see this?
yeah, I don't understand how is it that people are taking up for this?
Can I just put just a label on this, if y'all don't mind?
Yeah.
It just another form of demonic spirit.
Yes.
Going on here.
Yes.
That's just because it's higher than what we can imagine. It's more deeper than we will ever see.
Well, I want y'all to listen to this comment that one of the persons that I found on Facebook said. He said, if you can arrest a child under 17 for selling drugs, why can't you arrest these young ladies and charge them for having consensual sex with an adult? You can make the same. I'm telling you, listen to this. This is some crazy stuff. You can make the same argument with mind manipulation in a drug case as you do in a sexual case. This will at least slow down the hot ass girls from pursuing sick ass adults. Is it illegal to have sex with an underage child? Yes. But why is it that a child is held accountable for theft, murder, fighting, selling drugs, drinking underage, driving underage, but when it comes to having consensual sex with an adult, they are the innocent one?
Because number one, you're talking about a child.
And
Still
the
a
child
child.
doesn't go to jail.
Right. It's
they get a little.
I'm just reading some of the
Yeah,
comments.
yeah,
It's some
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
comments
number
out
one-
there.
Yeah, you're talking about a child. Number two is you're talking about an adult who has a who if you're an adult, you can manipulate a child.
Let me show you something real quick. We as human beings, we levitize what's wrong. When the Bible teaches that sin is sin.
See it is
Right.
sin.
Okay. Now, in a sense, that person is correct. Because I said in a case in a juvenile courtroom where these two boys, y'all might remember, it happened about 2 or 3 years ago. They jumped on this guy out at Targets off of 75. Okay, one of the guy was 21 and the other one was 16. Okay, they wanted to try that 16-year-old
As an adult.
as an adult.
Uh-huh.
Just so happened who the judge that had the case said, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm not going to send you with the big boys. I'm going to keep you until you 19. Then you're going to go with the big boys because he committed a crime. So basically, but now on the flip side of this, I agree with you said.
Consensual
we
sex is not a
should-
crime.
Right.
It's not a
It's
crime.
not a crime.
It's not a crime. But at the
Underage
same
sex is a
time,
crime from the
underage-
older
yeah,
person.
For the older person, it's not for the younger person.
Not for the younger person.
As a 14, a 12-year-old, a little girl, all the way up to 17, their mind have not fully developed.
Thank you.
And so they
Thank
can
you.
be manipulated into whatever,
And and basically,
especially girls, because
and
girls
I would-
are
I-
impressionable.
Okay, let's just go on since
They're
we
all
keeping it real.
impressionable.
Let's keep it real. A
Boys
pimp,
and girls are impressionable.
a pimp know how to manipulate that woman.
Right.
Watch him.
To-
Watch that woman. You know what that woman gonna do? When she walk in the room, she gonna look at the floor.
Right.
Uh-huh.
A man try to speak to her, she would never answer you as long as that pimp is standing out.
And that's what they were saying R. Kelly was doing.
Right.
R. Kelly would make you turn. If somebody walked the room, he'd make you turn around.
Yeah.
And he'd make you look at the floor or something like that. Don't look at them. Don't speak to them. And they can't speak to you.
Let me tell you what happened. If that woman speaks to another pimp, especially
It's gonna be on and popping.
that pimp that had her, he just lost her.
Right.
Oh,
Now that woman is in his camp.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
chose up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guarantee you
Whoa.
somebody gonna get cut.
Yep.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
9 out of 10 is gonna be that woman.
Wow.
I was looking at these options that we have for accountability,
Uh-huh.
and something that I think's missing on here is the justice system.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I
Mainly
said it, but I didn't
because-
type it on there.
Mainly because you had a chance to stop this years ago.
Long time
Mhm.
ago.
Years ago, and you let minor things acquit a man that you had all the evidence in the world that showed he had a problem.
Right.
And now where we are
24
umpteen
years later.
and now we want to reopen a case that should have already been
Well,
a closed case a
Here's
long
the
time
issue
ago.
with that though.
Exactly.
Here's the issue with that though. He wasn't acquitted. He was found not guilty. He was found not guilty because they had a jury trial. He was found not. Everybody in the courtroom thought he was going to be guilty. He was found not guilty. And
But
you
they
know
said because of reasonable doubt.
what else reasonable doubt? You know why I was reasonable about? Because he's R. Kelly. I could believe I could fly. People don't. You got to
But not
realize
only that, because it was not
Trading my life.
clear.
Right.
Oh,
12
Lord.
play, all that right there.
But it wasn't clear that it was him on the tape, and he was saying it was his brother.
Yeah.
Saying it was this, saying it was that.
Is
Even-
that when they jail
And
now?
the
Even the
victim
niece-
did not come
and
forward.
I think that's the biggest.
That
thing.
was the biggest thing.
Victim didn't come forward, and she's not
And I understand why she didn't come forward. I can
Embarrassed.
understand that.
embarrassed.
So
Yeah.
so if
Embarrassed.
she was to come forward now,
You can't retry the case.
that's what I was about to say. Isn't that like
You
a
can't.
double jeopardy
Yeah, but-
situation?
it is.
You can't try to. But what they're doing is that.
But she could corroborate.
but
she could
that
be a
ca-
witness for other people.
But I think that case was in Chicago's jurisdiction. This case here is in
Georgia.
in Georgia, which is different. Which now, you holding girls hostages? You know,
Well,
Yeah,
you
because
have-
the one,
that-
he got evicted from the house that he was holding them in.
right.
And one of the young ladies took the reporters that were
On the
doing this
tour.
docuseries, took them on a tour of the house and showed them the room that she was in
Mhm.
and told them that she had to stomp on the floor for them to come and get her and get her food and all this other
Mhm.
stuff. And she was crying and going on. She said, "This is the room I was in."
She was being held. Yeah. And so now they're opening cases. Like, wait a minute now we got a different case here. Now
Yeah.
we can retry them. And now because we retry them on this right here, now we can bring these other things into play. So yes,
if,
you're right.
If the judge allowed the evidence to be
No,
submitted,
there, the
There's,
DA,
I don't think there's a statute of limitations on molestation.
it's not, and
for
plus,
children.
and plus, once the DA opened, the DA had to get permission from the judge to be able to open that case.
Right.
yeah.
So
Right.
more than likely, the judge like, oh yeah, let's do it.
And we need to talk to
Well-
an attorney on that, but I think that there's no statute of limitations for rape. Just like the ladies for the Cosby thing, there is I think
Yeah,
there is
there's
a statute,
there's
but
a statute.
it's way. But
It's
she was
it's
an adult when it happened, wasn't she? She wasn't a
Well,
child.
yeah, she was in there.
I think it's different for children.
And that's the thing I want to say too. Kaiser says he did it, and we still don't believe it. R. Kelly, 800 women coming out and saying R. Kelly did it, and we still don't believe it. Why is that? Because we don't want to tarnish nobody's. No. If you did it, you did it. You wrong.
Right.
You know, don't look at, oh my God, look all
They-
he's
they-
done.
they-
No,
they-
You know what? If you ever listen to his music, he tells you everything
he
does.
does
That's
exactly.
what they said. That's what they said.
Bump
So
and
here's
grind.
what Cedric
Mine's
is talking
telling me
about.
no,
Here's
but my
another
body
guy.
Seems like
tells
you're
me
ready.
yes.
Here's another
Ain't that
guy's
wrong?
comment. The bigger picture is that somehow, some way, they're making another black man out to be a sexual predator, which would take away from any and all of his positive or all of his accomplishments, his gifts and abilities.
There we
He
go.
didn't only write and
Here we go.
compose sexual songs, but made and recorded man uplifting and life changing songs. But that's how the world is. Take away the black man's dignity, destroy the black man's reputation, and erase all the good that a black man has ever done. But it's okay for our president of the United States to be a sexual monster.
It's
What
not.
a cruel world. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not condoning anything that was wrong and negligent on R. Kelly's behalf, but there is more than what meets the eyes. Come on, people, let's dig
I
deeper.
love
Well,
that-
first of all, he just
Well,
contradicted
Right. I
himself.
love that whole. Please
Well,
don't.
I'm just
They-
telling you,
they-
these are the
they-
comments
they-
that are
they-
out here.
I love it when they say, please
There's
don't.
so
get me-
many comments out here like
But-
this. It's crazy.
Contradiction on
But
the plate.
now,
Yeah,
You
I don't
got it.
condone.
Please-
Yes, you do.
please,
You do
please
condone it.
understand what I'm saying. You do have maybe one or two young ladies. They knew what was going on.
It don't matter.
No, I didn't. No, let me finish. Because I'm going back to the words that she used here:
Who can be held accountable?
accountable and responsible. You got two folders here, okay? And my thing here is, okay, it's all about who influenced who.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Wipe those two folders out. Let's say those two folders don't exist. You know what? They're wrong. Those 2 photos are wrong.
When
What
I
about
say,
the other 30 that are right?
then okay.
Then that's what we're talking about. The 30 that's
Okay,
right. We're talking about we're talking about the Aaliyahs, the
Well,
14-year-old that urinator. We're talking about those, the kids that
Well-
were in this involved in this. That's what we're not talking about them 2 photos that you're talking about.
But
We're
they
talking about the
part
ones
of it,
that's
though,
wrong.
A Benchwarmer, they part of it.
No. We're talking about the ones that are wrong.
Well,
Not the ones that not the ones that
basically open and shut.
no, not the ones that's going out, because that's what people do. That's what people do. Oh, let's look at these. Let's look at this one dot and roll with this one dot. But what about this whole paper right here?
The reason why I keep addressing that area, because that started with their parents.
Oh,
and you got some ignorant parents.
we got that.
Here.
We got that. I got you.
No, but I'm
100%.
not. No, that's the problem here. we want to negate this area, but focus right here.
No. Because
whatever's bigger.
let me tell you what.
All of it is inclusive.
Let me tell you why you negate that area. Let me tell you why you don't. You leave that area alone, because that area knew what they was doing. That area knew exactly what they was doing. And so once that area knew what they was doing, they knew what they was getting into. What about the area that didn't know what they was doing? Because that area ain't a part of this area.
Well,
that the area, the other area that we're talking about, let's focus on.
There is a common area.
The common area is he's a predator. The common area is foul.
The common person is R. Kelly and his organization.
And that's the predator. That's the foulness. That's the area you focus on. So if those 2 are part of that and they making money off of that, when that's on his problem. But them others that they ain't making no money off of that or not a part of that and got preyed upon and got that's R. Kelly's problem.
And that's where.
So here's what happens. We wind up dealing with them 2 and say, hey, what about these 2? They're lying. They're this. What about them other 50 that he was dealing with? Oh, we don't want to. Let me tell you something that happened.
Don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, let me tell you something happened. And you know this just as well as I do. My cousin got shot in the head by her boyfriend. And they said that it was he shot her he shot her and her new boyfriend. They called the new boyfriend shot the one who got shot. They called that murder. They called her accident. Hell no, that's murder on both ends.
Right.
You don't diss one for the other.
Well, that's what they're trying to say down in Houston when that baby got shot. They said, well, we thought that was the car we got into.
Yeah. But my point is for here. You don't dismiss one for the other.
And that's where.
If they knew what they was doing, that's on them. But them others right there, we need to get justification for them.
And that's the law. That's the law that does that.
No, that's not the law. That's us that do that.
No,
because you know what we're doing? We're making statements like, you know what about the bigger picture is, what about these black men? What about what we're doing? This is us. The black man is this right here. Why we always turn the black man down? When a black man does wrong, you get on his butt.
I'm very disturbed by the comment that guy, because so we're supposed to be happy about guilt and him doing good because he's guilty. I don't understand how that's a good thing. Okay, he feels guilt, so he gives charity. So I call it guilt charity. I'm supposed to be excited about that.
Right.
I'm not. I don't get excited about that.
And then we want to push, and then what we want to do is we want to. Well, what about Donald Trump? What about this? No. What about the man that did the thing?
We're talking about this moment.
We're talking about R. Kelly. We're not putting nobody else in what he did. He had nothing. Donald Trump had nothing to do with what he was doing.
Ain't nobody trying to get him in jail.
Ain't nobody made R. Kelly do nothing.
It's not on the table yet.
Well, until it's there.
Well, ain't nobody came out against him and said
they working on it.
Well, but you don't know that. You know it. No. See, here's what you do. They're working on it, but we know good and well R. Kelly did this. But they're working on Donald Trump. So let's concentrate on.
Wait a minute.
Wait. How do you know R. Kelly?
Let's put this out there. He has denied all of it.
R. Kelly
has denied all
absolutely,
of it.
Absolutely.
He has not been proven guilty in court.
You're right.
So we gotta be careful.
You're right.
But
that's why they're opening up the investigation.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
In saying that, okay, this is how you really get a person. Like you talking about R. Kelly did it. How you know? Were you there?
I saw the tape.
No. Where you?
Oh no, I saw the tape.
No, okay.
I saw the tape. Did you see the tape?
Did you see?
Yes, I saw R. Kelly
on the tape. You
yes.
were able to identify.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
without
Yes,
a
and
shadow
that
of
was.
a
Have
doubt.
you ever seen the tape before?
I haven't seen the
don't
tape.
want
I
to.
don't
Oh my
want to
God.
either.
No, I
That.
don't.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Not
You saw the.
interested.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's R. Kelly.
Seeing a grown man
Well,
killing
the-
a child.
That's
That's
R.
right.
Kelly.
The
No
tape,
I
interest
saw
in
the
it
that.
was
tape.
all lit up. You can
That's
get up.
that's R. Kelly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
have no
so
interest
so
in
I
seeing
answered
that.
your
But-
I answered your question.
No.
What
you
is your
really
point?
didn't- You really didn't.
I
answer
just
my-
said I saw the tape.
with the rest of the girls. Were you there?
No.
Okay, so that's got to be proven, like you say.
Uh,
Until
You're
he
absolutely
found
right.
out,
You're
you know,
absolutely right.
Yeah,
Now
you
why?
know.
Now you're absolutely right. Now why is it that's got to be proven? And you know Donald Trump did what he did.
Well,
That ain't been proven either. Why is it that's got to be proven? And you
yeah,
know Donald Trump.
one particular
No, I wasn't.
issue-
Were you there?
one particular
Were you
issue-
there?
Wait,
Did you
wait
see
a
the
minute.
tape?
Yeah.
Well, the difference
Yes, I
is
did.
Donald
Yes, I
Trump.
did. I
Donald
heard
Trump
it.
came out and told us that he would grab the girls.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said.
he sure did.
No.
That's
Wait. Is it illegal?
crazy.
Wait. He told us he would do that, but did he say he gonna pedophile a woman?
Hey,
Did he say he gonna? Did you see him on the tape?
Okay.
No.
Okay, well,
Wait a minute.
time is up.
Yeah, we gotta
Donald
go.
Trump,
And this
Uh,
is the
disrespect
first and the
women.
last time we're going to talk
Yes,
about
it
this
is.
mess.
Yes, it is.
But I would suggest for your own,
Read. I admit it.
Roy, read that, but
Ooh.
watch the docuseries for
Yes.
yourself. It's
Powerful.
it's interesting.
eye opening. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's very eye opening, and so
It will change your thinking if you
yeah.
haven't watched the documentary.
yeah. If you don't believe them, once you watch this, you will believe them. You will believe the young ladies. Yeah.
Please, ladies,
loud.
if there are any ladies out there going through any of this, come forward
Speak
now.
up. Yes.
Please,
Don't wait.
please.
Don't wait.
Don't be
Don't wait.
afraid. Don't be ashamed.
Got to put an end to it.
Yeah. And we need to teach our children that, boys and girls, not to be ashamed and not to be afraid that you're going to hurt your parents or
That's right.
stuff like that. Because I'm telling you, all those thoughts that went through my head at 12, that prevented me from telling my mom. Thank God my brother was there and he didn't care.
Yeah, because then, and if you don't, me
He's
and
still a
Preacher
big tattletale.
gonna be
No.
arguing with each other like this now.
All right.
All right.
Love you, brother.
We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we got to get into this NFL, the
Playoffs.
NFL party.
Woo!
Yes.
Is it the party?
Ready. We ready.
Yeah, we
We
ready.
need to play that song. We ready.
Okay. You always tell me to play a song I already got together.
We ready.
This is 401 Sports Talk Radio,
for y'all.
RadioNetwork.com. We'll be right back.
Let's roll.
Yes.
Got on mute.
I got
Maybe I'm a little insane. I got a lot of screws loose inside of my brain, and you way out of your league, so stay in your lane. And I love when they say my name. Every time I spit, I hit them hard like a freight train. They better learn how to act before I hit them with a big Batman motherfucker called a Bruce Wayne. No need to brag it off. Feed me the beat, I'm eating like a savage dog. I'd be a carnivore if I was an animal, but I'm a man, so I guess I'm a cannibal. Get it on the nail every time. Hammer, go incredible hawk, Bruce Banner, game on lock. Everybody know it, I'm Bruce Lee on the track. Nigga, deep who knowing if a rap career really ain't for you, then it's cool, but admit it, then find another. But please stop making that trash, I don't want to hear it. I'd rather wipe my ass with your album cover. Yeah, you heard me right, I didn't stutter at all. I said it loud and clear. Blast from the past ahead of the competition. Fast forward back to the future, but like light years. They wish me death like 50. Gotta rep my city and running like Diddy. Snakes trying to bite, pigs trying to stick me. But if I'm finna die, I'm bringing somebody with me. And I was gone for a minute, but you know that I can't leave it alone, so I'm back now. And you know no matter what, that I ain't never gonna stop until I make them say, I'm here now. You old news. I'm on the winning team, and you ain't on it, so you lose. I came too far, can't stop now. I make them all say, wow, I'm here now. You all know I'm on the winning team. You ain't on it, so you lose. I came too far, can't stop now. I make them all say, wow. You're not really not your average rapper. Way more advanced than the average guy. Got a beast inside, and if I lose control, then I go from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. Shit just got real, just hit the fan. I'm a big deal, I'm in high demand. Midwest, Great Lakes, my state, my city, high murder rates, and I'm still here. Still breathing, to be completely honest, y'all, I can't believe it. But I do believe in destiny, so it must be meant to be. I'm here for a reason. and it's game time. Stay on point when it's crunch time. I got a team that feeds full of hungry wolves, and you theater meets when it's lunchtime, boy. And my words are like lyrics, and lyrics are like bullets, so you can say I got ammunition locked and loaded with the safety off. Point blank range, hell of an aim, it ain't no way I'm missing. I'm what the game's been missing. It needs something different, and it's time for a change. Cause I'm so sick of these lanes who all walk, dress, talk, even sound the same. I'm on my way to the top, came from the bottom, and Joe told me to go and get me back in the day, but I made them all wake up. I'm a fucking problem, can't hold me down. They said that I would never make it, and now I'm one of the greatest, so get a load of me now. And they love that real shit, so I gotta give them what they want and make them all say, wow, I'm here now. You old news, I'm on the winning team, and you ain't on it, so you lose. I came too far, can't stop now. I make them all say, I make them say, wow, I'm here now. You old news, I'm on the winning team, and you ain't on it, so you lose. I came too far, can't stop now. I make them all say, I make them say, wow. Yeah. Now they be like, who is this deep pressure? Real shit, real life, no lie, I'm no actor. And nowadays these actors are like rappers, and these rappers are like actors, so they act up and get wrapped up, and it's a rap in. Let me go in. I ain't gonna go in on y'all on this one.
All right. We're back. 41 Sports Talk Radio, 41RadioNetwork.com. That's my introduction to the. That's our introduction to the sports line. We're getting into our. What are we getting into? Y'all got me
Playoff
some
football.
playoff football. Yes.
NFL.
Playoff.
All right. We had some good games last week.
Quick to all the Maverick fans out there, my Lakers beat y'all last night.
Okay, this is not Lake. This is not Laker time.
He threw that one in there.
I know he just had to.
3-0 sweep this season, just so you know. No chance to make that up.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not like anybody's going anywhere.
Did LeBron get his hairline back?
LeBron didn't play.
He even played.
That's what made him more impressive.
Nah, he's still painting his hair.
Yeah, he's handling his
Anyway, so we got 4 games on the docket today.
Yes, sir.
As we get into those 4 games, let's go into the previous games. Number one of the 6 games that were played this past Sunday, which one was most impressive? And Saturday. Well, I can't hear you.
So
And Saturday.
we had the Colts
So
and
you had the
Texans.
Colts and Texans.
You had the Ravens and the
Chargers, yeah.
And I got a question about that game. And then you had the Cowboys and Seahawks
Bears
and the
Eagles.
Bears and the Eagles. What was the
yeah.
question?
Which one's most impressive?
Colts.
Yeah.
The way they beat the hell out of Baltimore?
Complete.
I agree.
The Texans.
Out
Yeah.
the Texans.
Texans, yeah.
Complete domination.
I would put Colts, Texans 1, Cowboys, Seahawks 2, Eagles,
Eagles in Chicago.
Eagles,
three.
Chicago 3.
Yeah.
and Chargers, Ravens 4.
Man.
And speaking of,
Ice and the kicker. Ain't that a mess?
that was one of the questions I had on this
Woo.
sheet. Chargers, Ravens. Should the Ravens have gone to Joe Flacco against the Chargers?
No.
on Sunday?
No.
No.
And I know why you asked the question.
Yeah.
Because Lamar Jackson just wasn't playing good at all. He was just not. I mean, what he in his first half he had what in his first 8 passes, incompletes and interceptions
I don't know why anybody's surprised.
and fumbles. I mean, but once you go to Joe Flacco, guess what you got to do? You got to change your whole offensive scheme. Because Joe Flacco is not a Lamar Jackson, and you ran your whole offense based off of Lamar Jackson for the longest. So why do you change up in the second half? It's not going to do you no good.
You got to the playoffs with his legs.
With Lamar Jackson, yeah.
With his legs. His legs were going to either get you
Make it or break it.
get you into the next round, or you were going to go home. When
Yep.
they forced him to throw the ball in the beginning of the game, he showed what we already knew anyway. He's an
wouldn't happen.
inconsistent thrower of the football.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, the most impressive would be Colts, Texans. Andrew Luck and company. They started 1-5 this season, went
He is
9-1 the rest of the way, and
He
they're
is
still
balling.
winning.
He's
Yep.
balling, yeah. He is playing.
They have got to be most likely, besides the Ravens at that point, the most dangerous team in the AFC to anybody else, including the Chiefs and Patriots.
And if Mahomes hadn't had some video game like season, Andrew
Right.
Luck would probably be the MVP this year.
Yeah,
He'd probably still get my vote
He
if I
probably
had
still
a
get
vote.
it.
He'd probably still get my vote.
I agree with
He
that.
would probably still get it. I don't know. Drew Brees might have something to say about that, but I would say Mahomes, Andrew Luck, Drew Brees, my top three.
And
No-
I mentioned
no-
Andrew
no
Luck
disagreement
in our last segment in terms of who should be
Comeback
favored to
player
win
of the year.
the NFL MVP.
Yeah. Andrew Luck. Yeah.
Mahomes, Breeze, and I would probably put Luck at 3. I mean, the dude
I put
Was-
Luck at 2 myself.
I was 2 full seasons without playing football.
And then
Exactly.
you come back and then you get them to the playoffs like this. So for my take, I think my most impressive win, I mean not win but game, I was impressed the way Indianapolis did take out
And
Tennessee,
they took 'em
the
out.
Texans. Yeah,
Took him out early.
it wasn't even.
Wasn't
you know,
even close.
But Deshaun Jackson's game,
Watson.
Deshaun Watson's game, didn't necessarily resemble a playoff quarterback.
He had the jitters.
Yeah, it resembled a quarterback who was still playing regular season.
Mhm.
I think I take away Cowboys Seattle, and the reason why I say that, there's so many. We watched the game at Dante's house, and me and him was talking, and there's so many different variables that said Dallas should lose that game. One of them was, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the 10 years since of the NFL, there's been only one quarterback that had to win a game. There's only been one first time quarterback that had to win a game and did win the game against a Super Bowl quarterback, which that's Tim Tebow versus versus Roethlisberger. Yeah,
The famous slant pattern.
yeah. The other years, no other first time playoff quarterback that had to win beat a Super Bowl quarterback. And so Dallas, Dak Prescott beat a Super Bowl quarterback, which was Russell Wilson.
I think what's more impressive, speaking of Dak Prescott, I saw this stat in his first 3 seasons in the NFL, completion percentage, first in the NFL, number of wins, number 2 behind
Tom
Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Seriously?
He went.
It's not pretty.
As ugly as it looked,
It's just not pretty.
He wins games
But when the game is on the
on the
line,
line, yes, and
he's
showed-
probably number 1 in comebacks too. So in that time period,
I
too.
believe I
Yeah.
saw a stat to where he was in his first 3 seasons in the league, in those 3 years, game winning drives, he's first.
That's what I thought. I said he
Are
has
you
to be. Up
kidding
there
He's
in
got
the
that
end.
moxie about him.
He's a different passer when the game is on the line.
Yeah.
He's a different everything when the game is on the line. I've never seen anything like it. It's so
And Coach
Jekyll and Hyde.
said something that was key. He's not a sexy quarterback, but his heart
It's
and
right
his
there.
leadership gets the job
It's
done.
right there. It's
And I
right
keep
there. Yeah,
telling people that.
yeah.
I- I've said, and I said on the show since 2016, that first preseason game against the Rams.
Yep.
The way I saw that dude play, I sat there and said, he is the future starting quarterback of the Cowboys.
You
This when
talking
Romo was on the roster when
Thi-
I said that.
You talking
Yeah.
about the pass he made against
No, this
the
is his first preseason game.
that
in
was
the
against
first
that was
half
Seattle.
against the Rams.
Rams.
The Rams.
Rams.
His first NFL game was a
Right.
preseason game against the Rams.
No, that was Seattle. Because remember,
No,
Romo,
it's the
Oh,
Rams.
no, it was Seattle.
It
Remember,
was the follow. It was going into the
and-
season.
And
no, Romo got
and
hurt
he was
in that
what?
Seattle game. His
Oh,
first
mercy.
preseason game.
His first start.
Okay,
His
okay,
first
okay.
Yeah,
NFL
the start.
start
Against the Rams. Okay,
was
okay.
against the Rams.
Okay.
And he was a third.
He's a
third
fourth round
string-
draft-
Fourth round.
third-
Fourth
he was-
round.
No, third string.
No, he was a
quarterback.
third.
He was a
on
third
their side, he was
string.
a third string quarterback
Yeah.
behind Moore and Romo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he went into that game and he was throwing dimes out of
Conference,
nowhere.
Yep.
I don't care how vanilla the defense was for the Rams. He was
still
in there
them.
throwing dimes.
Dimes, yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
this dude here is special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one of my
I remember that.
my more impressive. For me, I was impressed because number one, the Cowboys hadn't won a playoff game, since 2014.
Yeah. Was it 14? Yeah.
2014,
Mm-hmm.
when they won against Detroit, when they beat Detroit and they beat they beat Detroit and they wound up going to Green Bay and they lost to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got in, they lost to Green Bay in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, they hadn't won a playoff game. And I the analogy I want to use, and I want to see if you guys roll with me on this right here. Tony Romo's first playoff game was against the Seattle Seahawks, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Bring
what
that
happened?
up.
Tony Romo,
Fumble
know,
the ball.
yeah.
2006.
yeah,
Well,
and he,
he fumbled the
and he
ball.
fumbled the ball.
And that had nothing to do with his play
No,
as a quarterback in
No,
that
it,
game.
no, it didn't.
He
I'm
gonna make sure you gonna put that out.
no,
there.
it didn't have anything to do with his play as a quarterback in the game.
Instead of field goal, he should have got a
No.
touchdown.
No, that they was kicking the field goal.
Oh
Like
my
I
goodness.
said,
Anyway,
The game-winning. field
the
goal.
game-winning,
instead of
the
kicking
game-winning field goal.
winning, they shoulda got a
But
touchdown.
here's my point though. So that fumble marked Tony Romo's career for a long time, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Now, the play that Dak Prescott made against the Seattle Seahawks,
3rd and 14.
right? Is that going to mark Dak Prescott's career for a long time?
No question. For me, that's not only the player of the game, but that is going to define his toughness.
Right.
Straight up.
And
Go ahead.
it will threaten the defense because they have to keep eye on him when they trying to double down on somebody else, and that frees him up.
Yeah, they already know he runs. though.
They know he
Yeah.
run. But I want you to address that question.
To be continued. Mainly because I
comment.
want to see
More of
where this goes now because, hey, they got another game to play.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, buddy.
So we're going to see if that play
Into
leads
this right
to
here.
something more because I'm not going to get ahead of it. So I'll wait till I get into that game.
I think so. I really believe so because now it's giving other players confidence where they still may have a question mark.
Oh, I think they already had confidence.
Yeah, well,
I think so. See, we say so.
reason why I say that this one, and I don't mean to, they got Cooper, right? They got Cooper. It's an old saying: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That is true.
And since Cooper been here, he brought some flavor
Yes.
to the Cowboys.
He gave
Yes, he
Dak a
did.
target. They can
Yes.
get over.
Right.
Yes.
Give him a target.
Yes,
And then he taught the receivers how to make themselves a target.
right.
I don't think Cole Beasley.
No, not Cole Beasley. I think he heavily influenced Michael Gallup's game.
I
Who's
don't-
that now?
I don't
Michael
disagree with
Gallup.
that.
I think
Well,
he heavily
and-
influenced
and-
Gallup's game.
And really, and I meant to open it up with you all. Our prayers go out to.
I was gonna say prayers out to
Howard
hers.
Hurts.
Yeah.
That they say he'll be back in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Too
because
bad
Oh,
he'll be
boy,
on
boy,
another
because to
team.
me,
Yeah.
he's
That
a
was
good,
something else.
He won't be on Dallas.
Yeah, he won't
He'll
be
be
playing.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
They'll
because
heal him and
you-
get rid of him.
Who gonna get rid of him?
Cowboys. They'll heal him and get rid of him.
Who gonna get rid of him?
Stephen Jones.
Stephen Jones
No,
running the team.
no.
Stephen
You-
Jones running the team.
Well, you really?
They're gonna heal him and get rid of him. They're gonna do him like they did Jimmy Jackson. Remember Jimmy Jackson?
That's crazy.
Remember Jimmy Jackson?
Oh, you're talking about the guy that ended up going to Jacksonville?
They healed him and
Became
got
a
rid of
star.
him. Yeah, they healed him and got
No,
rid of him.
Jackson. It
Jimmy
wasn't
Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith. Yeah, Jimmy
That's
Smith.
just
Yeah.
the Mavericks,
Yeah,
man.
Jimmy Smith.
You
Don't
sure
start that
right.
butchering.
You sure right. The first show of the year. The first
You was going
show-
with me there, wasn't
the
you?
first
You
show
should have
of
to think
the
about it.
year.
I was like, wait a minute.
Jimmy Smith.
New year, old bitch.
Yeah.
What you call me?
Bitch.
Oh, I
She
thought-
said-
Honey.
she
How
said,
congested are you?
You know
Because
my sinuses
I thought she
are
said
acting
the
up.
same thing.
Hey, Big ID.
Hold up now. What the?
With
Come
the
on
old-
now. You
with
know
the-
not
my
like that.
sinuses is acting up.
With the old pad.
BENCH.
With the old
You was asking the same
cushion.
question, huh?
Same cushion.
Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
So, real quick, true or false? While we're on Dak Prescott, I had this on here. The Cowboys will go as far as Dak Prescott takes them. Not Zeke Elliott, but the Cowboys will go as far as Dak Prescott would take them.
I agree.
I
agree.
I
agree.
agree.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Zeke is just the appetizer or dessert, but it's up to our boy Dak.
Well, I'll put it like this right here. You need in the playoffs. You're gonna need both of them.
Right.
Okay. One is gonna steer.
The
other's-
other.
The other is gonna be the engine.
Well, you know me,
Okay.
I always contradict you.
Okay, I can see Prescott being the steering and
Uh-huh.
Zeke being the engine.
Yeah.
Well, my comment would be you need all of them.
Yeah, you need
on
all
both
of them.
sides of the
Most
ball.
definitely.
You need all of them.
You know, so
But
those-
here's the di- here-
I-
here-
I'm
if-
sick and
if-
tired how our teams here in Dallas
no,
only pick out 1 or 2
no,
players.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. If the engine goes out, you can still get people to push the car. Somebody's got to steer.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
Prescott.
look at
yeah. If you
this.
make it in
Yeah.
that
Well,
analogy, yeah.
that sounds pretty good.
Hey, it's a good I'm
That
with it.
was pretty good.
with
Give some water. Yeah, so-
I'm with it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
that,
saying.
that hurt your head.
No, I did not.
Man,
Lord.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of dig in some of these games real quick. We got some time left.
Yes, sir.
Indianapolis at Kansas City. Indianapolis is up 6. Kansas City is that's gonna be a
So
good
good.
game.
yeah, that's gonna be a
So
great
good.
game.
Talk about
Hey,
top-notch
hey,
quarterback.
Mahomes
Man.
versus
Can I go? Can I
Luck.
go first on that one?
give us some analysis.
I don't have any analogy. I just have a pick. I want Kansas to win, but I see Indianapolis taking it. I
Really?
Yeah, I really want Kansas to win, but I see.
So they're
The
gonna go
coach.
into now.
Yeah.
If that becomes true, Andy Reid does not win a playoff game in 800 years. He goes to
He
the
started
playoffs.
with the
But
Eagles.
Guess what?
He
Guess
goes
what?
to the playoffs.
Guess what?
but he don't
Guess-
win.
Guess what? He's still gonna have a job.
Yeah, he will have a job.
Yeah, he will have a job.
Yeah.
And he should.
He,
He
yeah,
should.
yeah. Andy Reid is a good
He's a
good
good
coach.
Where
coach.
Andy Reid at Green Bay?
No, he's in
I know
was-
he-
No,
was
he
a-
wa- he
was
started-
a coordinator.
he started with coordinator at
so
Green Bay
he has,
under Mike Holmgren.
yeah. So he has a little clout,
Yeah, he's got
He'll
some.
be fine.
Yeah,
but then again, he was one of those assistants that was a good assistant, but
Well, he-
hasn't made a.
no,
No,
he was
he's
a good
been a
coach
good head
too
coach.
because
yeah,
because
I love him.
in
man.
Philadelphia
Don't
he
get
took them to the Super Bowl.
He sure did.
me wrong.
Finally.
Calvin
Yeah.
McHam and
Yeah,
Terrell
yeah,
Owens.
Yeah.
Here's some scary notables here involving that matchup. The Colts are 4-0 all-time against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Hmm.
The Colts have won 10 of their last 11 games after a 1-5 start. The Chiefs have lost 2 of their last 3 games after 11-2 start. And the one that trips me out the most, Andrew Luck the last time they met in the playoffs, Andrew Luck and the Colts overcame a 28-point deficit to beat the Chiefs 45-44 5 years ago, the second largest playoff comeback in NFL history.
I only have one thing to say about that.
But the Chiefs are 0-4 against the Colts in playoffs. They have never beaten the
Wow.
Colts in their team's history.
I only
I
have
find
one
that
thing
very
to say about
interesting.
it.
That is interesting.
The only thing about it is they didn't have the quarterback. The Chiefs didn't have the quarterback they have now.
Mahomes.
You know, I'm
That's-
with
And you talking about steering now?
Yeah.
I'm
He's
with
a threat
Preacher.
all the way around.
I'm actually taking the Colts in this game too.
Woo.
But I'm taking the Colts because I think there's something nobody's talking about. And that's how good their defense is. playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say their defense.
And to me,
That's Eberflus
what travels
and company.
on the road is defense.
His defense, yeah.
That travels. And as great as Kansas City is offensively, they are not that great defensively. So I think the Colts will be able to score. And I think their defense will slow Kansas City down just enough. And I think you're going to have a second straight upset
Plus
by
the
the Colts.
other thing too is Indianapolis coming this thing hot.
Yeah.
Yep, they're on fire.
And when you come into a game hot and on fire,
10-1.
and Kansas City has been sitting down, they're resting. They got to gear up.
Colts have been in playoff mode for about 4 or 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like what they're doing. I will pick them to win this game. I will pick them to win this game.
Who's that again?
The Colts.
The coach. Yeah.
Write my score down.
Now,
And we're
it's
going to
not
go with
gonna-
scores
it's not
on these
gonna break
playoff
my heart
games.
if Kansas City win now.
Not mine either.
It's not gonna break my heart if they win.
If Kansas City wins, it really turns this playoff thing on its
Okay.
head. It does something different to this playoff structure.
When I looked at
Yes,
when I looked at the professor bracket for the playoff, and just me looking ahead, I see Kansas City and Dallas Super Bowl.
Now, wouldn't that be interesting?
I don't want any part of that.
I don't even. Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys take on the team that
Not
used to be
against the
called the
Chiefs.
Dallas
Dallas
Texans.
Texans. Yeah. And the other
yeah.
another
Anything to do
fun
with
fact.
that?
Another
and,
fun
and
fact.
The Cowboys in the back of it, then working his way up. Oh, yes.
And then what happens at that game? The Dallas Texans won.
Yes.
Mhm.
and
yes.
and that was a game that said the winner can move to Kansas City.
Yeah.
As
they
a
did.
matter of fact,
And
that,
so the Texans won, beat the Cowboys in the Cotton because both of them played in the Cotton Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans won in the Cotton Bowl. The Dallas Texans. So Lamar Hunt moved the team to Kansas City.
Yep.
That's how the Kansas
And
City
he
Chiefs came
regretted it ever since.
about. And that's
We're-
why he got the Hunt building right now
Yeah.
in Dallas.
Yeah. You're
We're,
right.
we're throwing out scores for these games. I want to throw out
Oh,
one.
okay.
I'm gonna take the Colts 38, Kansas City 28.
Ooh, that's good. Okay.
Flip that on me.
I'm still debating. Man,
It's just like a woman. Oh, did I say that out loud?
oh,
You did.
you should not have said
You
that.
know,
did.
she full of
That's security.
she full of Sudafed, so you don't know what might come out now. Oh, sorry.
Like I'm scared.
You got a score, Benchwarmer?
I'm going Indianapolis, which has another Dallas tie to it, but I'll give you that later. Man, I'm going 28-24.
Who?
Indy.
Shelley?
Well, everybody except Professor got this upset.
I'm going
I don't
Kansas
know.
City 34, Colts 31.
Okay.
That's a good score.
Yeah, that's a good score.
KC 34, Colts 31. I think both teams going over 30. No, just regular four quarters.
What was the score of the Colts and the Texans?
21-7.
Yeah, that was.
Colts
There
21,
was no
Texans
game.
7.
There was no game.
What was KC's last game score?
Casey's last.
That
game
was in the
score.
regular season.
Regular season,
They had a bye.
What was the score though?
Don't know. They probably
Like,
said
she
everybody.
really analyzing the whole.
They beat Oakland 35-3.
Oh, they played Oakland.
Yeah,
Trash.
that's what
That
I
ain't
said.
helping me.
They had a
You
different
right. That ain't
quarterback.
helping me.
Yeah, you just gotta go with the quarterback.
Man, oh man.
Now the last playoff at the site, the Colts won 38-31. That's against that was in 2004.
I was at Kansas City.
That was at Kansas City.
They
2000.
won in
And where they
Kansas City.
played,
But
they
that
going
was
to Kansas
2004.
City
They
this
won to
time?
Kansas City, yeah.
And the quarterback then was Andrew Luck.
In 04, no one.
Oh, I'm talking about 13.
No, 14. The
Okay.
Chiefs beat the Colts 44-45, but it was at Indianapolis.
Oh, it was at Indy. Okay.
With Dungy coaching in?
No. Dungy was gone.
So what's your score, Shelley?
He was
Oh
gone,
my
he was
gosh, this is
retired.
terrible,
Just
terrible,
throw it out
terrible.
there.
I'm gonna go low.
No what?
Low.
Low.
Low score.
Low.
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
And the score is
And the score is going to be very close. It's going to be 27-24.
okay, Shelley.
All right. Next game. Next game is an interesting game. The Chargers and the Patriots. And let me tell you about all these games except this game. Every team has won a Super Bowl that is playing today except the Chargers.
Oh, wow.
Not just been in Super Bowl, won a
You
Super
have
Bowl.
won a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Every team that is playing this weekend except the Chargers have won a Super Bowl.
Really?
Oh, wow.
It was a long time since Kansas won, though,
Yeah,
right?
Kansas won the third Super Bowl.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we saw the Chargers in the Super Bowl, I think San Francisco was
San
giving them the
Francisco,
business.
They beat them.
yeah,
They
yeah,
beat
wiped
them
them
bad.
out.
Giving them the business.
Yeah,
that
they
wasn't
beat them bad.
55 to 10 or
Yeah,
something
they
like
beat
that.
them bad.
I forgot they was in the Super Bowl.
Man, look at
Stan
here.
Humphries, I think,
Right.
was the quarterback
Pee-wee
at the
team.
time.
A
Pee-wee
Pee-wee team,
team-
he could have went in there and beat them.
That's like New England's first Super Bowl. Chicago gave them the business.
Yeah, yeah, and they came back and turned it all the way around.
Yeah, but every team that's in the in here has been to Super Bowl,
Right.
but only one has not won.
And you're looking at that. So
the Chargers,
New England's the only one that I beat the Cowboys
they're-
as far as winning the Super Bowl, right?
Huh?
New
Yes.
England, the
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah. Patriots. No. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
No,
They got
that's
6.
playing. That's playing.
Oh, that's
right
playing.
now.
Yeah. New England's the only team that has more Super Bowl
Oh,
wins than the Cowboys.
Right.
That's playing. The Chargers of this
Do
game.
they or are they tied?
I think
New
they're
England.
tied.
I
It might
think they both got
yeah.
5.
Yeah, I think they both got 5.
Who?
New England
in
And who?
Dallas.
and Dallas.
They both have 5.
They both got
Yeah.
5. So the only one that's ahead is the Pittsburgh,
Steelers, yes.
and they got 6.
6.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So on this game right here, you have Philip Rivers versus Tom Brady, and Rivers has never beaten Tom Brady in the playoffs
He won't do it now.
until Sunday.
until you're saying until
Until
Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, this is
So,
a great upset,
This,
huh?
You really think
this
so?
is this is Philip Rivers' year. I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl. I'm fully behind Philip
Oh,
Rivers.
okay. So
That's
whatever.
the only thing missing on his resume.
So whatever we say from here on out, it's gonna be the Chargers until they lose.
I'm picking the Chargers.
Then you got to figure something else out.
Because I'm on board with Philip Rivers. This is his time. This is his moment. Unless they play the Cowboys in the Super Bowl,
Well,
Uh-oh.
and that all changes.
well,
His moment has to be ruined.
I believe there's so much on the high from winning, they won't have nothing for New England.
I don't know. No.
No.
The
They
only,
got all the
the-
proving to do in the
only,
world.
only thing, Bill Belichick is so orchestrated and good
That's what I'm saying.
at fixing up a game plan
It's true.
to beat you.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I mean, and I've never seen a coach that could just sashay into unless we're talking about San Antonio, the Spurs, they can just sashay into the playoffs and the next thing turn the light on. The New England Patriots can just sashay into the
Well,
playoffs.
and that's one thing.
Turn
I
the light
love
on.
I don't
about
see they
him.
changing.
That's
I just
one
don't.
thing I love about Bill is that he's not easy to be intimidated.
Yeah, and he takes whatever player you give him
Right.
and uses them. As long as you got Tom Brady, now the moment
Right.
moment Tom Brady is not there, it's gonna be a whole new different situation.
Mhm.
Bill Belichick is not that one to go one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm going New England 24, Chargers 20.
So just jump right out there, huh?
Mhm.
He like, let's get it on.
I'm gonna go Chargers 28, Patriots
Now,
27.
Chargers playoff record is 12-17. New England is 34-20.
I'm gonna go Chargers 21, New England 23.
I as much as I want to do this, I can't do this. As much as I want to go against New England. Oh man, I want to go against New England.
Yeah,
so
I know
bad.
I'm gonna be on the island.
Oh, I want to be.
I
go
never
against
bet against Brady on his home turf. I
Anthony-
just don't do it.
Yeah. I know.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I said. I'm
In
not.
the cold
uh-uh.
weather,
Long as they don't make up
Yeah,
some
In the
bogus
cold
tuck
weather.
rule call, then we should be
Well, they're gonna do that
because
you
it's
know.
supposed to be snowing in this game.
Yeah, and,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
and
Chargers,
this is
they're
Anthony
not-
Lynn's first playoff game.
It's okay.
That
It's,
ground
it's
gonna be
not Philip
hard.
Rivers.
The ball gonna be hard.
He has the perfect quarterback for this situation.
He
Old
better.
savvy veteran who's seen it all.
Boy, I sure want to do this, but I can't.
Go on and do it.
I can't.
Go
I
on,
can't.
Cleveland.
I can't.
Hey, it does.
Oh, Cleveland.
Watch this right here. It doesn't matter. I already won the picks.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that
meant to
comes
congratulate you
That's
on
next
that.
week. That's
That comes
next week.
Yeah,
Oh, it's all
We'll
good.
settle up next week.
we'll do the ceremony next week.
Come on, Cleveland.
I gotta go New England.
Okay.
I gotta
Score
go
is
New England. I'm going New England. Oh man, I'm going them 21-10.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shelley.
oh, man.
Yeah, I think
You
they're
want to put $100 on that?
New England 28-21.
Bill Belichick's a defensive coach too.
Yeah.
He's a defense coach, so the
He-
slowdown is
He's a
the
beast.
slowdown is real.
Yeah.
Is Tom Brady and Gronk getting old?
Drunk.
Gronk seems to be getting a
Getting
lot
better.
older than Tom Brady.
Yeah, I know he
How
does.
do
don't
you-
he?
How do you evaluate their performances this year?
It's for me. I think Gronk is not the beast he used to be. But he's still a beast though. It's and with a tight end, just get open. That's all you gotta do is find the middle, and you can't. You know how to at a tight end. You ain't gonna forget how to find the middle.
And Brady?
Brady, I don't think Brady's performances. It's hard.
He's trying to play till he's 45.
It's hard to judge Brady.
That's what he said.
And the reason why it's hard to judge Brady is because, number one, while he does not have any, while he's never really had weapons, his weapons this year are much less than what they used to be.
So that brings
Having
a segue
said
to my
that,
question to Coach, and I got it down here. So which is true? A, Tom Brady makes Rob Gronkowski look old. B, Rob Gronkowski makes Tom Brady look old. C, both look old
All the above.
and not surrounded by talent, therefore their age has been exposed. Or D, Rob Gronkowski is the version of Derrick Rose of the NBA.
Ooh.
Oh, shoot. I
Tom,
say both.
Tom Brady, he's had a good year. I don't know what everybody's talking about. I got to look at it. He's had a great year. I think Gronk is old because his body is old. His body is beat up. If you watch the games,
How old is he?
he's struggling to get separation now.
How
He
old
used
is
to
he?
really separate from defenders and linebackers,
He can't do it anymore.
and he doesn't do it as much. He will in spurts. Like they run a seam route, he can still get by some guys, but when he's running his outs, the old patented Jason Witten option routes,
Right.
The Y route.
right? He doesn't get the same separation, and I think his beat up body is starting to take a toll. So the Derrick Rose factor, I think that's
Yeah,
good now.
and-
How old is he?
Brady is what? 40?
Not Brady.
No, Tom
Gronk,
Gronk.
30?
I think it's 31.
Gronk 31.
Yeah.
But here's where your comment come into place at. Brady was 375 or 570 for 375, 570 passing for 375, 43, 50, 55, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
This is covering what though?
No, this is a year. This is what he did on the year.
On the year?
On the year, he had 570 passes thrown.
Ooh.
That's high.
Attempts?
Yeah, 570
Okay.
attempts. That's high.
For over 4,000 yards.
Yeah, but the 570 attempts is what I'm.
They always throw a lot.
Yeah, no.
Look at his history. They always throw a lot.
Okay,
And
let
he
me.
throws dink and doink passes.
Yeah,
They talk about Dak. Tom Brady throws more short passes. than
You're
anybody.
right. He's right. And then every now and
Then
then
they
they
get the
sneak a
extra
good
yards
run.
in it.
Yeah.
And it increases his average per pass, and then we act like he's
We
throwing
act
it
like he
deep all the
just-
time.
he just-
He
yeah, he
only
is.
threw it deep when he had Randy
he does.
Moss.
Yeah, he does dink and dunk. But to answer your question, I don't. If Tom Brady had one or two good receivers around him, this wouldn't even be the question. Because if your top receiver, like your top receiver right now is James White.
It's the running back, isn't it?
Yeah, 87 receptions for 751 yards.
Gordon decided he wanted to go find Jesus.
Yeah, right. He let him go find him.
Yeah.
He might need him.
So in terms of attempts, Brady threw 570 this year. The previous year, he threw 581.
See, I told you, he throws a lot every year.
He's just dinging and dumping. Okay.
His all-time high was in 2012, where he threw it 637 times.
He still have
And
arm?
there was a stretch where
I know.
in 3 consecutive years, in 11, 12, and 2013, he threw 600 attempts. 3 years in a row,
See?
600 plus.
And he can do
So
that
he
because
does throw the ball.
he
Yeah,
throws
he
it a
just-
lot, but he doesn't throw it deep.
Hard.
all
It
the
ain't
time.
yeah.
stretching the arm, so his arm ain't getting tired at all.
His second year in the NFL, he threw 601 passes. I mean, so he's been over the 600 mark. It looks like a total of 5 times in his career.
Wow.
Because they treat the passing game like the running game. It's just
Yeah,
an extended
dink
run.
and dunk.
A lot of
Right.
screens,
Yeah.
Right.
lot of dump
James
offs to
White.
the running backs.
Yeah.
It's nothing complicated. He's just smart on where he goes with it.
So,
Matchups.
next game,
Quicker.
Next game. Did you make your picks?
I said, yeah, New England 24 Clippers. Clippers.
Yeah.
New England
Clippers?
24
Who the heck are
Chargers
the Clippers?
20.
This ain't
Wait a
bad.
minute.
Because I got
Uh-huh.
LAC. No, I got
You was-
LAC down here,
You
and
were talking
the
about
Clip-
him.
No,
Well, you
I got
talking about me.
LAC down here, and that's
It
what
does
the
have
Clippers
LAC
go
down
by.
there.
LAC,
Clippers
and-
go
But
by.
we talking football.
That's okay.
but I got LAC.
Oh, y'all gonna let them jump on me, but I can't. I
Yeah,
can't get them back
because
up.
you
all
do it all the
You
time.
good, man. You good. It's just him always.
Man, both of y'all
Next
shut up.
game.
We
All
can
right.
talk basketball about the Lakers beating the Mavericks.
Philadelphia Eagles at the New Orleans
Oh,
Saints.
This is
boy.
an interesting game.
Yeah.
right here.
Now this is a rematch.
So what was the last game? I know that Eagles got blown out by the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints blowed them out. What is
It
that?
was like
48
41
to
to something.
48 to 7.
Yeah, 40.
And this is like in
That was a
November.
beatdown.
This is,
That won't be the case this
this is
time.
November. It ain't gonna be no beatdown, but and they're going back to the Saints. It's hard to beat the Saints in
But
the
now,
dome. The
okay,
dome.
let's look at the future. You know, Philly beat New Orleans
And Dallas wins.
and Dallas win.
They come to
Dallas.
The NFC cha-
The
NFC
problem is-
championship is here.
yeah.
Let
The
me tell you
problem is it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
if the NFC title game is here, I will be there. I
Okay.
don't care how much the ticket costs. I will be there.
Can I go with you?
I-
Buddy.
you probably don't want to go with me because my emotions, I'll be so fired up.
And I'm looking at that. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm looking at you. You know what?
Well, let's
Let-
let's deal with the
Focus with the
Philadelphia
game.
New Orleans
That's
game.
what I'm saying. Let's look at.
I got the Saints 30, Eagles 24.
Well, here's the deal with this game right here. Okay,
Flip that for me.
here's the deal with this game right here. I can understand if the game was played so long ago. This game was played November 18th. Now I don't remember if
Who was the quarterback?
that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
That was
if,
big Carson
I
Wentz.
think that was
Carson
Wentz.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this is a
And who
different
we have
team
now?
that New Orleans playing. I think that here's the difference though, is the Eagles' defense is not as good. So that means that the Saints can score still. The Saints will be able to score on you. Philadelphia's offense looks different with Nick
Foles.
Foles. Now, do the Saints come in and say, you know, you're not going to do me like Minnesota did me? Because remember, that's still in their mind too. You know, because Minnesota wound up playing Philadelphia in AFC Championship game.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that little fluke play.
yeah. So in order to prevent that fluke play, what we gonna have to do?
Take care of business.
Exactly. In New Orleans,
Final score?
Can I look
I
at
had to-
something right quick? You remember the year that the Cowboys had to play Philly back to back?
they lost both games.
Yeah,
Kyle Orton was the quarterback at
Yeah.
the time. 'cause
Yeah,
Romo
yeah,
was
yeah,
hurt.
yeah,
They'd have won that game if Romo
that don't make
played.
you sure about that?
You talking about the year when Dallas played the Giants and they beat them twice in the regular season, and in the next game the Giants beat them, and then they
Right.
wound up going to Super Bowl.
Oh,
Right.
that's another situation. I remember
Right.
that one too.
Mm-hmm.
You also keep in mind that the Cowboys have beaten the Eagles 3 times in the season. Last time being with Rodney Peete was the quarterback, and Troy
Exactly.
Aikman was the
Yeah.
quarterback. When we met him
Yeah.
in the playoffs, we beat him here
Yeah.
for the 3rd time that
Right.
season.
Yeah, it was about 1,200
Right.
years ago.
And let me
Yeah.
tell you
Nice.
something right now. I would love
Quit
to
going
get
back
Nick
so far,
Foles
like you
behind
said.
in Texas Stadium.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
afraid of
Oh,
Wait,
most
wait, wait.
definitely.
Hold
Most
on, hold on,
definitely.
Hold on,
You won't even be able to get in the
we
neighborhood.
gonna deal with
Yeah,
that
let's
game.
deal with
We
that
gotta
later.
we gotta get to this game right here.
So
You
what's the
won't come-
final score,
Philadelphia,
You
New
won't be
Benchwarmer?
able to get in the neighborhood, man.
I'm going New Orleans.
Okay, final score is
I'm going New Orleans. They're gonna score some points. I'm going New Orleans 35. Philadelphia 28.
You quit breathing like that.
okay.
Can't breathe through my nose.
Shelly.
I'm going New Orleans. Nolans.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That sounded good with that Sooner Fed.
Nolans.
No.
Final score.
They know that's the nose.
30.
Who?
New Orleans.
30. Okay.
27.
You can't
Mortez, coach.
I think
You going
there's
Philadelphia
something
because you want
special
Philadelphia
going on
to
with the
win.
Eagles
I know. I knew that you.
because of the horseshoe they got because of that double doink field goal that got them
That was a
the win. I've never
yeah,
seen
yeah,
something
yeah.
so ridiculous.
played
That was
hard,
a-
The doink heard
They played
around the
hard.
world.
That was a fluke field
There's
goal.
something going on with Philadelphia. I don't know what it is. I expect this game to be a shootout.
That Nick Magic.
I'll take the Eagles 33,
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans 30.
You know
Wow.
you actually take what you want, your passion. You want to see the Cowboys.
You bet me a Philly
No, I
cheese-
actually think that
a
might
Philly
just
cheese-
might go down.
a Philly cheesesteak sandwich on that game. It's a place on Hampton. They make good Philly cheese.
No, the real Philly cheese steak ends in Philly.
Well, I ain't going to Philly.
Mm.
Just for but it's over on Hampton.
You think you bet with what you want.
Hey,
All right. What do you got?
Oh, yeah, I already gave him mine.
We don't know.
He says Philly 30, New Orleans 24.
Good score.
Right.
All the scores are good.
Yeah.
Except mine. I'm on the island alone, I guess.
Yeah. All right, and the game of the week, Saturday. 7 o'clock.
Yeah, buddy.
Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun.
Dallas
Main
Cowboys
event.
versus the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah. Now, I'll give you this caveat. The last time they played in the playoffs, Eric Dixon's second year, the score happened to be 20-0. Eric Dixon ran straight through Doomsday, like it was nobody's business. I
But
remember
they
watching.
was old then, man.
No, Eric, who? The Doomsday?
Yeah, they was old.
Yeah,
then.
they were. Yeah, Randy White was old.
Eric
What
fresh
kind
out of SMU.
Yeah, he was.
He
Why
running
would you
straight up
even bring that up?
strong.
He was.
Huh?
Huh?
Why would you bring
Because
that up?
because they're playing in the same colors they played at that.
Oh, I did read they were gonna do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they're playing the
But
same colors.
can I tell you this? The Cowboys love playing in the Coliseum.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do love playing.
But they
because
played.
They won so many times.
They
in the
played that
Coliseum.
day, and it was nobody's joke. I mean, Eric Dixon ran through them like he shredded them like Swiss
Okay,
cheese.
well, it's payback now, okay? We got
And
some
what
young-
year was
We
that?
got some
Eric-
young
Eric-
little boys there.
1980, 85.
Eric Dickerson
Man,
ain't
you
on
don't
this
even.
field Saturday.
Man, you.
85.
What were you, 9 years old then?
Man, I was older than that. I was much
You
older
was
than that.
9 years
They
old.
said, you know, they did this morning on
I
the
was much
news.
older than that.
The last time we went to the, what was it? The last time
Super-
we won in '96, Zeke was only 6 months old.
I can see that.
So that means that whole payback thing. These
It's
players
gonna
don't know
it's
that.
gonna
I
happen.
have a clue.
Let me
These
tell you
players don't
something.
have a clue. Yeah.
Hey,
Probably
hey,
couldn't even tell
I
you who
saw-
played next.
Zeke
Right,
was
right,
just
right,
a
Hey,
baby.
did you see the picture of Zeke?
Stop pointing at me.
Did you see the picture of Zeke eating a bowl of W's? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I
I'll
saw
have to
that.
go find
Yeah,
that.
he,
saw
you
that.
saw that.
Okay, so let's get back to the game. Let's get
I
back
looked
to
at
the
that
game.
cereal real close. He was eating cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that's a good cereal, man.
Okay, so
Come on.
so the last game this team played, the Rams beat the Cowboys 35-20.
That was a good game.
I remember that game.
Yeah, yeah.
35-20?
It was 35.
Last
I'm
year?
sorry, 35-30. I'm
I
sorry.
was
Oh,
gonna say
that's-
that
that
shit
was a
was
good
no,
game.
yeah, I was gonna
35-30.
say that was a close game.
Last game at the site St. Louis, the Cowboys beat the Rams in 2014 34-31.
Where they played
That's in LA.
It was in LA.
in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
No,
That was the Romo comeback, wasn't it?
And
They fell behind by a lot.
and then the last time they had to play, it was the 85 season, 86 year, January 4th, 1986. Rams beat the Cowboys
No.
20. Yeah,
That was
January 4th,
that wasn't
1986.
the Coliseum. That was in that dome. They were still in that
The Rams?
dome. Yes, I remember
And
that game.
2014.
They wore the blue uniforms. That was the game that I believe Romo did a flea flicker and threw a touchdown pass to Des Bryant. He was
flicker.
wide open
Mm.
down the middle in that game.
Wasn't that
but-
the same game that?
But it was in the Coliseum at that time.
No. Wasn't that the same game that they did that the hike and Romo dropped the ball and he had
Was
to
it
scramble?
St. Louis?
No, that was
Were
at,
they-
at Texas
were they-
Stadium.
were
That was
they-
at Texas
Old
Stadium.
Texas
Yeah,
Stadium.
yeah.
Were they at
Yeah.
St. Louis then?
Yeah, this was at St. Louis.
Yeah,
St.
they
Louis.
was
Yeah,
at
this
St.
was.
Louis.
Because it's thinking about the dome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
this
was
was
in
in
St.
St. Louis.
Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2014. It was in St. Louis. Yeah.
Yeah,
St. Louis.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that don't count.
No, they don't count.
They
No,
don't
we're talking
count.
about LA.
So
because Cowboys love to play out on the coast.
here's the question though: who is the hottest team right now in the playoffs in the NFC? We already talked about the hottest team in the AFC, right?
In the
In the NFC?
In the
Right,
NFC.
It's Dallas.
Who's the hottest
Dallas.
team
It's got to
right
be
now?
the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
I don't
Cowboys.
think that's, yeah,
Cause,
that's,
'cause I wasn't gonna. I mean, I wanted to say this earlier. The game really didn't matter against the Giants,
It didn't.
but it
But
was
they-
a great
It was
performance
a
on the
good
Cowboys.
game.
that mattered to me.
Yeah.
I wanted 10 wins.
I
Me
know, I did too.
too. Me too.
Well, I
And he was
mean,
9-7 the
because-
preseason before.
I got my
they-
lunch.
They raised
Yep.
the stock on that when he brought them back like that.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't. The game
I give
didn't
you that.
count,
Yeah.
but it raised the stock
But
on him,
his
man.
confidence went up.
Right.
His confidence went up. And
And then for him to come back in the game, I mean, even though it wasn't a touchdown, it should have been.
okay, so I'm gonna ask this question, but who's gonna have the better day, Todd Gurley or Ezekiel Elliott?
That will be Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
The Rams have one of the worst run defenses.
I
in
think
the
with
NFL.
Todd Gurley, he's been injured, and then you had your week off. That engine is cold. You got to get it warmed up first. Zeke is already warm.
And
Who has a better day, Dak Prescott or?
Oh, it's gonna
Jared
be
Goff?
Dak. He'd be Dak.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah,
a tough one.
I say Dak, hands down,
I think it's gonna be Jared Goff.
because he got something to prove to me. I think that got something to really show the folks.
I think it's gonna be Jared Goff.
When I was promoting the show, one of the things I said was there's a formula
Right.
to
right.
beat the St. Louis Rams. The same way I thought there was a formula to beat the Saints. And I said to tune in and you would get this formula from me, and I'm about to give it
Let's
to
get
you.
the formula. All right.
All
right.
Formula.
Everybody's expecting a lot of Zeke, and they should. They should expect a lot of Zeke. But I think what the Cowboys have to do to win this game is they have to throw on first down, because it's easy to hand it off to Zeke. They know you're going to do it. Everybody knows you're going to do it. If you come out aggressive early and make them respect your ability to come after them through the air, the game will come easier for Zeke.
Right.
You can control the ball. You can limit the opportunities that Goff and that explosive offense has, the same way you did the Saints. And if you can do that and allow that defense to stay fresh, they'll slow down Goff. They won't stop him. They can slow him down. And I like our corners against their receivers. And I like our front seven versus their offensive line. Now, I'm scared of that D tackle they have, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
He makes me very, very nervous.
20
because,
sacks. When first 20 half sacks.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the kid's going to be blocking him. The kid from Texas. That
Connor Williams.
No.
Number 71.
What's called back in?
Lyle Collins.
No. Oh, they put him on this side. Yeah, you're right.
man.
Number
Asunu is
71.
coming in.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's
oh,
back.
I pray he
So
is, because
I think he's back, so you can put Collins on the other side.
okay, then if
Number-
that's the case, then that's
number
awesome.
71.
Yeah, Collins. Allow
Yeah.
Collins. Yeah.
And with that being said, I think Dallas will do it. I'm calling for the upset. I'll take the Cowboys 26, the Rams 23.
Ooh, wee. Close.
Who?
I got Rams 32, Cowboys 24.
Flip that on me.
You always flipping.
He done flipped every score.
He done flipped every score. Flip that on me. Security.
Ooh,
I'm just saying who's
Cowboys,
gonna win.
Cowboys. 30-27.
Here's what I look at. You know, you can actually score on the Rams. And as good as their defensive line, quote unquote, says they are, you have, I mean, Ndamukong Suh is not who he used to be.
I didn't even mention him.
Now,
Right.
I do wanna-
I know.
Now, I do want to say while he's on that, the kind of counter what he's saying, the Rams give up an average of 5.6 yards a carry to a running back this season.
Right.
Zeke Elliott is averaging 5.4 yards a carry on first down.
So
Right.
you know.
I saw
Yeah.
you post that. Yeah.
So you know he
Yeah.
hit
I saw
7,
that
8.
stat. I'm like, boy, he gonna be eating with triple spoons on this
Right,
game.
right.
Well,
Think about
but-
it. If you're the
so-
Rams,
So
what are you going to do? I'm stacking the line.
So
You are.
You telling
But
me this?
But if you stack the line, guess what happens though?
Yeah.
I got Cooper.
That's
Yeah.
why you
See,
have to be
and
aggressive
see,
early.
and see, they rank 23rd in NFL in rushing defense,
Who Dallas?
and we're 10th in NFL in rushing as an offense.
Right.
But
So-
now, when I look at that, are you telling me now instead of the Cowboys having 2 field goals or 6 points, they would have 2 touchdowns, 14 points? Because
That's the difference.
When you were talking about coming out aggressive, that's what I look at, being aggressive. No field goals in the first quarter.
You
Number
have
touchdown.
nothing to lose.
Yeah, you got to come out with touchdown in the first quarter.
And here's the deal too. Here's what I look at. I'm actually walking myself through this, but the Rams, like I said, they give up points. They're terrible as rushing defense. The Cowboys shut down the best rushing offense
right.
in the NFL. They only had
Seattle.
they only had
Seattle.
73
Yeah.
yards rushing.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Todd Gurley is probably better than all three of them put together. All three of them runners. But that's
No, probably to that.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Well,
I
Yeah.
think Todd Gurley's the key to this game only because he hasn't played too much in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think they're going to start out passing on the Cowboys before they start getting
before they start
feeding
getting
it to Gurley.
Having said that, I believe that the Cowboys, I think they can if they run Zeke, you take time away. They are so great with time possession.
right. They
Cowboys-
really, you can't
Cowboys
beat
are
them.
great at
You
time
cannot
possession.
beat them. You cannot.
So yeah, Goff can probably get you, but with the defense that the Cowboys have shown, and the Rams have not seen a defense like the Cowboys.
Yes, they have.
Who?
The Chicago
The Bears, who shut
They
them
went to
down.
Chicago
Oh, and
and
lost.
only scored
Yeah.
6 points
And
in
lost.
that game.
Okay, so when they saw that, what happened?
They
Couldn't
got
do nothing with
punched in
it.
the mouth.
Mhm.
So
We don't have Khalil Mack though.
No, we don't. I don't know.
I like Demarcus Lawrence and stuff, but we don't have Khalil Mack.
Van Der Esch and
I was gonna say we got the
Well, we got
Van Der
Smith.
Esch and Jalen
we
Smith,
got the wolf
Yeah,
on
so
them.
yeah,
and they've not seen a second a linebacking core like we. And with Sean Lee
Hill.
getting Elliott, I was gonna say Sean Elliott.
yeah.
I'm gonna go basketball again.
Now that's another form right there. Not being a good player, but a good coach. Let's put Sean Lee, take the shoulder pads off and put him with a coaching hat on.
There you go.
He's still.
No, I still like him as a
I
player.
still like Sean.
So here's what I'm saying. Oh wow! I said all that to say this right here. And it's in the Coliseum.
I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. The Cowboys are 10-0 this season when they lead at halftime.
Right.
They are 24-1, but Dak Prescott has a passer rating of 100 plus.
And when Ezekiel Elliott rushed for over 125 yards, they win every game.
Well, if he rushes 90 plus since 2016, the Cowboys are 22-4. Most of all, and this is the stat that I think is gonna break them. When the Cowboys, and I posted this, when the Cowboys score 20 or more points this season, including the Seattle game,
They haven't lost.
they're 10-0.
They haven't lost.
But the Rams average 33 points a game.
Yeah, but
So they may score 20 or more points, but
But
they might not be enough to beat the Rams.
yeah, but what do we do with a team that scored 30 more points on that 10-game winning streak with the New Orleans Saints? Stop them
Yeah,
from
these are
scoring
two
30
different
points.
teams.
Right.
But that's why I'm going to
Different
ask you,
teams.
because how was our defense then compared to now?
Our defense stood up then, and it's
Yeah.
better. I think that the defense is better now than
Than it was
then.
then. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Especially like you said, the linebacker core.
Now I got
you
that.
know.
I got a stat. I didn't see this. The Cowboys defense against top 5 scoring offenses this year, 16.5 points a game allowed, first in the NFL. 273 yards total given up on defense, first in the NFL. Only 151 passing yards per game, first in the NFL. But the Rams offense, 33 points a game,
What that,
second behind the
that
Saints.
tells me is Dallas defense likes the challenge.
Right.
They crazy.
It's just
man.
gonna be a challenge.
And that's that
They
Chris
are-
Rashad.
They
That's-
are crazy.
One thing before you tell your score, I want to
Right.
throw out there for everybody to think about. This will feel like a home game for the Cowboys.
It will.
Right. That's what I keep saying.
This
We talked
stadium
about that.
is going to be.
Coliseum. Yeah, man.
If this thing's anything less than 70-30,
It's gonna be
I'll
halfway.
be- I think it'll be more than that.
And
I
it's
think it'll
good
be
weather,
70-30 Cowboy fans to Rams fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
that helps.
And if Jerry Jones says white out, it's gonna be white and blue.
And not only that, because Cowboys got a good big fan base out in California.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're
They
talking
used to be
about.
their practice
They
area.
practice out
Yeah.
there.
They
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to be there when they went to training camp.
We got 5 minutes. Let's go Benchwarmer.
Okay, here we go. After careful consideration,
Oh, mercy. Mercy. Here
Man,
you go.
just give the score. Come on, Cletus.
after going over all the records and reports,
Oh, my goodness.
viewing all the evidence.
Greg Field.
Let me give you one more piece of evidence.
All right.
He mentioned Chris Rashad. Prior to his employment with the Cowboys, he was with Seattle on different positions of the defense for 8 years.
So he knows the Rams.
He played the Rams twice a year.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
He has
Right.
schemed against this offense the last 8 years before he came
Right.
to the
Oh,
Cowboys.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
again,
got the
like
upper
the
hand.
Seattle game
Got
where
that
he knew
edge.
them,
And you forget
He's
Sean
very
McVay.
familiar.
You forget Sean McVay was with Washington, was offensive coordinator for the Washington Redskins.
I remember that, but not as long as Chris was defensive coordinator
Yes.
with the Seahawks scheming against the Rams twice a year for 8 years. So
Well,
there's some familiarity there in terms of leaning on him
To
to
find out.
find out from him how to stop this offense.
Yeah.
So after careful consideration,
Come on, Cletus.
tie game. Nobody wins.
No,
Okay.
you're not gonna pull
Oh
that.
no,
You
they
can't
ain't gonna
anyway.
let
It's a
that
playoff
happen.
game.
We in
Oh,
the
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah.
We not regular
Playoffs, we're
season.
sudden death.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Staying on the field till
Do-do,
somebody
yeah.
scores.
Yeah, we don't want no
There's
sudden
no
death.
tie.
Overtime.
We don't want no sudden death.
No. I'm thinking the Cowboys will
If
score.
that happen, I'm gonna come over your house and slap you.
I'm looking at wow.
Come on now.
Come on, Cletus.
31-35.
Cowboys.
The Rams.
The Rams.
What?
There it is.
You ain't getting no more soda.
Oh, you not getting no food, no nothing.
Well,
Traitor.
I
It's
don't
on
want to
traitor.
ask that nothing. I want to ask what that nothing is.
Thank you, Brick House Lounge,
I just feel it.
for letting us be
Ooh.
here and act crazy again this year.
Yes, we will be back next week. When we come back, we will discuss next week's topics, which is going to be the games next week.
Y'all.
What's that? He said, she said next week.
I don't know yet. I gotta get.
I have one.
I
for
gotta
you.
get.
I
Okay,
have
how
one.
many
for
minutes
you.
we got? We got 2 or 3. I'll pull one up.
Go ahead.
We got 2 minutes.
Let me
Go
look at
ahead.
my dirty bag of
Right,
tricks.
wow.
Dirty bag of tricks.
While the professor's
Why-
doing
We
that,
went to a dirty Santa
we
party,
gonna
y'all.
celebrate next week the coach of his winning position of all his picks this season.
Yes. We will unveil the winning position of who won, and we'll tell you how close
Why you smiling over
people
there, man?
was.
I hope you read-
Well, we
I
already
hope you
announced
reading
it
the
on
text.
Facebook. We already know who the
Yeah,
winner
we
is.
already- You talking about it now? Okay.
We done already
Please.
announced it.
We'll give out the award next week.
Please.
I got one. I don't know if we may have discussed this, and I'm gonna throw it out there. You ready?
Yeah.
This might
You gonna have to text me.
This might itch your skin a little bit.
Oh
Uh-oh.
boy.
Skin itching
Okay.
time.
Which is worse? Your partner cheating on you with a stranger or someone you know?
Oh.
All right.
Period. It don't care. It don't matter who it is.
All right. This has been 411 Sports Talk Radio.
Somebody get kicked out.
4radionetwork.com.
And said it's doing stage left over there.
Yeah. I'm over
He
here
like,
like,
hurry up, get off of here.
Y'all gonna cheat, you know. All right.
Yeah.
This
Who
could have
you
been
got?
somebody I didn't know.
Exactly. Oh no, I ain't even gonna answer that right there. All right, we are out.
Neither.
Peace.
All right, I guess I gotta end the thing, don't I?
What's this riff, y'all? Boy.
Look like we. I'll be sitting over there. I don't even